Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's the old bear with the old bear's den of Bigfoot, and we have a story for you out of Ohio, near Columbus. Uh, I was given this story from a person that I know up there. He's a state trooper. I trust him completely, and we're going to do that story here in a moment. But first, the view that you're looking at is Bowley Lake, which is inside of Babcock State Park here in West Virginia. We figured we'd give you a pretty good view of the lake. It's a very nice place to come fishing in the spring because they stock it well. It's stocked really well with trout, goldens, rainbows, browns, um, and it's a lot of fun to come up here and fish. And had my best day fishing at this lake one day a few years ago. Caught 24 trout in one morning. Turned all of them back except for four. I'm allowed to keep four. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the story, so let's get on with the story. Gentleman called me, lives up off of US 33 out of Columbus. I'm not going to give you any more information than that, how far he lives or where he lives exactly. But he called me to let me know that he lost his dog. Now, this is a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. This dog is a big baby. I know this dog. It doesn't do anything to anybody. Doesn't cause anybody harm. Loves kids. Lets kids come over and pull its ears, smack it on the nose, whatever. That dog loves kids. Never done any harm to anybody. It's not an aggressive dog. Now, one night here recently, he got home late, around 11 o'clock at night, him and his wife. They don't have any kids. So him and his wife, they got home. And usually the dog, his yard's fenced in. He's got an invisible fence plus a 6-foot high chain link fence all the way around his yard to make sure the dog doesn't get out. And the dog usually comes running when they open the gate for the car to their driveway. Comes down there and then chases them all the way up the 300-foot driveway to their house. Well, the dog didn't do it. Dog never showed up. So they were concerned. Thought something was wrong. Got to the house and he went in and grabbed his personal handgun and went out looking for his dog. Jumped. He owns a little bit of acreage, not a lot, 4 or 5 acres, I think is what he said. And he rode his side by side all the way around. Well, on his loop back down from the farthest point on his property back down to his house on the upper side, if you're facing the home, he said it would be the left side of the home. He found his dog out in the middle of the little field behind her house. Well, this dog's head was ripped off. The innards had been crushed. This dog was mistreated. This dog doesn't growl at anybody. It doesn't do anything, and that's kind of upsetting. Harmed a dog. So he took the dog back down to the house after loading it in side by side and took it back to bury it. He took it out and buried it. And this guy is a tough guy. Real tough. From what I gathered from him, he probably shed a few tears over his dog. He loved that dog. His wife did too. Which it's upsetting to me. Anyway, they didn't have any trouble that night. The next night, when he got home about 6 o'clock or so from work, his wife said something to him. Said, "Hey, I thought you buried the dog already." And he told her, "Yeah, I did." And she was like, well, then how come the holes open up out there in the backyard? So he went to look. And lo and behold, the yard is open. So even though the yard is open, the grave was open where he'd buried his dog the night before. Um, went out there and looked. The dog was gone. The body was gone of his dog. Only thing left was the head of the dog. Sorry, guys. Had to turn it off for a moment, pause the video. The only thing left on the dog of the dog that was still in the hole was the dog's head. After digging up, whatever dug it up, he couldn't tell what dug it up, if it was dug up with paws or hands or whatever. Anyway, he was a little bit upset, and I understand that completely. So he kind of started looking around in the mud and everything else, and he found something where something had kneeled down. Well, this was a pretty big knee impression. And his first thought was someone dug his dog up. There's not many people would do that. And then take the body. That's another thing that was kind of upsetting. So after going through the process of elimination, I guess, he thought he'd call me. He called me and told me what he had, and I said, look, he said, you know as well as I do, that's not a person. A person ain't gonna dig up your dog after it's done dead and take the body. He said, well, what in the world can it be? I said, look, it's a Bigfoot, plain and simple. They do that, they like eating dog, and I hate to tell you that, but that's the simple truth, and I'm not gonna lie to you about it. He was like, well, then I got a problem. I said, yeah, you got a problem. They'll be back. He said, no, they won't. I said, yeah, they will. They'll be back. He kind of laughingly said, all right, prove it. I said, well, just give it a night and it'll be back. I said, call me tomorrow. Well, he called me the next morning at bright and early, around 9 o'clock. And 9 o'clock in the morning, he called me and said, you're right, that thing came back. It smacked the house. It knocked over his very expensive grill on his back patio, which wasn't good. It's not good at all. But anyway, that's, this thing's hanging around his house. He's having trouble with it. So I told him what to do, and he said he was going to do that, going to take care of it. Told him to call me next day. He called me next day and let me know what happened. He said, well, the thing is smart. It got around the measures that you told me to use. I said, well, you didn't put enough of them out to give this thing the idea to stay away. He said it came back and smacked the house again. And so that's what's happened. So he doubled up on what he put out. And the next thing you know, the next night, he heard the thing scream in pain because it set one of the little so-called flashbangs off. I'll be right back, people. And after he heard it scream, he went out the back door because it was his night off. He went out the back door to see what was going on. So when he got out there, he's got pretty powerful flashlights. He took them and he took a rifle with him plus his handgun. Went out there and this thing, he saw it running across the back there next to the woods. It ran across the backyard out there where his dog was buried when he came out the door. He saw it. Hit it with a light. And that's what happened to him. So he got to see it. He called me back and told me what was going on, what he saw. He said it was probably 9 foot tall. And when he hit it with the light, he said it was like a auburn with a black mixed into it and a hair collar. Didn't get to see the face, but 8-9 foot tall, broad shouldered, head. He saw it from behind. He said that it looked like the head was stuck down into the shoulders, like the shoulders connected right there at the base of the head. And that's what he was doing. That's what he described. So that's a Bigfoot. Not something you want at your house. But he's also, besides it killing his dog and destroying the grill, pretty expensive grill, almost $1,000 for the grill. He keeps coming back even though he keeps setting off those little flashbangs that I told him to make. Short of, with this type of aggression, only thing to do is to possibly shoot at it, run it off that way. But he really can't be shooting because there's houses near him. They're not real close, but they're within a bullet traveling. If you don't hit the thing, it's going to hit a house, so you can't really do that. But I did tell him to do something that will deter it. I told him to put up some cameras, night vision cameras, get some video of this thing, send it to me, and if I get it, if he can get it on the night vision cameras that he's installing right now, he will let me know. Hopefully we can get some video of it, at least running it through the yard or something. And there's one other thing that I want to tell you about this animal. It's what it's doing, this creature, this Bigfoot. It has broken into a little shed he's got out there. Now, on the shed, there's a freezer. It ripped the freezer open even though it was locked. Anybody can do that with their bare hands. Let me know. Took the deer meat that he had in there. He had an elk in there, part of an elk anyway, and a couple of deer from there in Ohio. And that's what happened. So that type of aggression is going to have to be dealt with, being that close to someone's home and other people's homes. Now, I don't know why this Bigfoot is staying there. There's deer in the neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood. It's just like, you got families quarter-mile apart, stuff like that. And there's woods connecting all the homes in there. People, when they did their home sites, they left the woods pretty much intact except for what they wanted for your yards. And so he's got trouble. So if anybody has any idea how to get rid of this thing, other than what I've told him to do, and he doesn't want to shoot it, because like I said, there's homes that are close by, quarter of a mile the most away. So if you have an idea, let me know. Tell me what you think in the comments about this Bigfoot getting this type of aggression, showing this aggression. And if you have an idea how to get rid of it, let the old bear know. We appreciate y'all viewing the channel. We appreciate y'all watching, and y'all have a blessed day. And we're on vacation. Y'all ought to come and join us. We're having hamburgers tonight, cooking out. Good food. My wife's cooking, don't worry guys. It ain't the old bear cooking, it's the wife. So it'll be very edible, trust me. Anyway, y'all have a blessed night. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye-bye.